All right, what's going on, guys? I am on my way to Ryder's Hobby Shop, excited to pick up the TRX-4m. Let's do it. Pretty sure this thing's gonna be a game changer, so we're excited to see how it handles out of the box. But first, we gotta get our hands on one. All right, we just walked away with a Bronco and a Defender. Trailer and a whole bunch of upgrades and screws and axles and gear kits and gear sets and spring rates. And hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to CCxRC. Welcome to our pre-unboxing of the TRX-4m. Thought I'd give you guys a quick little rundown of this. We've already had this one out of the box and we ran it, but I had some friends over and did not get to do a proper unboxing of it. But I did pick this up today at Ryder's Hobby Shop, and I'll give you a little rundown of this one. We are going to do an unboxing, like a formal one. I've got the Bronco there, and this one will show with some upgrades, but we'll give that kind of out-of-the-box experience from that one, and we'll have some more run footage, because I did everything for Instagram, because I literally had 10 minutes before my guests were arriving. We took it to the side, we did a quick Instagram unboxing of this, and got some footage in upright video mode, so I don't have anything of like run footage to show you here. But we're going to be doing some upgrades to this, so we'll talk about that as we go along. But overall, you guys, this thing is pretty cool. Pretty special truck that they've come up here with, and I really dig it. So the body, of course, they nailed it. I'm a big fan of the Defender, and I feel like they got a lot right with this. Yes, it does make it more of a trail truck out of the box. Capabilities are more limited. You run into things like these grabbing on the grounds, and this big bumper catches on rocks and stuff if you're trying to do some like crawling with it. But overall, the experience is pretty good. I will say, so I got this at Ryder's Hobby Shop, and I had pre-ordered it like basically the day that they were announced. I went up there to see if they had one of them as like a demo or anything, and I put in an order for it. And so I was able to get mine, but they had a bunch of pre-orders, and not everybody that pre-ordered was able to get one, because I think that the demand for these is so crazy high that, you know, it's really hard. So I actually went to a different shop, and all of their pre-orders plus some had been spoken for as well. So really crazy release as far as the demand for these is very high. And I was guessing it would be for $100, $150 price point that they put these at, as a Traxxas is really good. So that's the reason. The other crazy thing is the upgrade parts. They only had one of everything as an upgrade part, basically, at both shops. And I know that they had to order one of pretty much everything to show, but even if they ordered more, they only really got one of most things. So that was weird, because like I bought some aftermarket tires, but they only had one set of two, and with the rims they only had one set of two, so you couldn't get matching sets of anything to buy to upgrade. So it was kind of silly in that way that they weren't able to work it out to send at least two sets of tires and rims to the shops. So that was interesting. But I was able to get my hands on mine. I'd put in an early pre-order. I knew these were going to be a hot ticket. And so we'll look at the upgrades here in a minute, but we'll just kind of go over the truck real quick and show you guys how easy that body pops off with these little clips that they've got here. Fantastically designed. Very cool. On release day, there was a lot of accessories available. So mine has the battery in it already. The strap is a really thick piece of rubber, and it works really good to hold the battery in, and it just slides in here real nice, like straps in super easy. I'm a fan of that, just like I am of Velcro, because you can stretch that over different size batteries. The power on the ESC here is instant on. Makes you have to unplug it, which is, I think, a good thing. Especially for teaching my boys to get in there and unplug the batteries. I think that's a good deal. So it does have working lights up front here. I did get the light kit. They've got a pro light kit for these, and that's pretty cool. Looks like it's going to install pretty easily as well, so I look forward to doing the install on that. So this right here is the set button, is actually for programming your ESC into one of the 3 different modes that there are. So we have it set up in crawler mode right now. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this. You can see here your servos are regular 3-pin style. So that means we can upgrade it if we want to. All the wires are run and tucked in there nicely. One thing to note about the servo I did notice was it looked like if you do aftermarket, as this thing flexes, it's hitting in that back corner, it looks like there. And if you do a taller one, I wonder if it'll even be worse. It's very close. I mean, it barely is rubbing on there, but it is, in fact, hitting under compression right there on that little piece. Not a huge deal. This side may be more noticeable right there. That's under full articulation though, so but your shock is fully compressed, so you're not really going any further anyway, unless you were to maybe change out your shock angles and hope to have a little more. That might become problematic because that servo does hit, and that wire seems a little tight. If I can't buy a little bit more. There it goes. I don't like that being so taut, pulling on there. I'm just going side to side. 180 motor in here. It felt all right. The gearing is set to their trail mode out of the box. And there are 3 different gear sets you can get for it: a speed mode, a crawl mode, and a trail mode. So it comes in the trail mode, and you definitely feel, which is crazy for such a big motor, 87 turn, with the gearing that they've got, when it does come up against some resistance, it does want to stop. And then you have to feed it more power. So it's not as smooth of a crawling experience as I thought it would be, but it's not bad. I mean, it does go slow crawl. I was just a little shocked when it, with this size of a motor, when we encountered obstacles, how it did stop. So it's just something I noticed with the motor. Like, you can see it going, and then it resistance makes it stop, and they have to give more input. Not a big deal. It has the power, that's for sure. It's got the grunt, I'll tell you what. But I can definitely see how having the crawl gear in it will probably even help more with that, with the gearing change. The shocks are oil-filled shocks, and there's a bunch of different spring rates you can get for them. You can see the tighter coils here on the rear. These are a stiffer rear because it's got that heavy body on here with a bunch of stuff on the back. So there's definitely more weight to the back of the vehicle, and so that helps support that weight. It does have plastic shocks. They do sell upgraded metal ones. I was not able to get my hands on any. This right here is problematic to me. These drive shafts have a pin in them, and there's an O-ring holding this pin right there in there. I don't know if you can see that. Where's the camera? There's a little pin right there. And so there's a possibility on good rocks of having this come off. If you're stuck or bound in rocks, and pulling that off and having that pin come out. So, yeah, that's something to just be aware of and pay attention to, because that is one worry that I do have about it, as somebody that does use these more for rock crawling than I do for trail running. And yeah, but decent plastic drive shafts in here. The whole build of it feels really good. The servo with the single arm here, you have tons of turning radius. I mean, for days. It's super tight turning, which is nice at 18th scale, that it does, make it so you can use it indoors very easily. And yeah, I mean, overall, very, very good job, Traxxas. I went ahead and, let's dump some of those on here, the upgrades, and see what we got, all right? I got a bunch of cool stuff. All right, before I make it rain parts on this thing and show you all the upgrades, we're gonna take a few looks at the weight of this thing so we can get an idea of what it is about base. So about 520 grams. It's a little over a pound, 1 pound, 1.145 pounds or 18.4 ounces. 1 pound, 2.4 ounces. So there's different ways to look at it, but 520. The body does take, it adds considerable weight. It is a hard body, molded. And so it's about 162 grams on here. So 162 grams, and then 358 grams, which gives us that grand total of about 522 grams-ish in there. Take out the battery, see what that is, because, you know, that can change with different battery sizes. About 36 grams for that, 38. So yeah, you can see some of the weights there, and it's definitely pretty solid little truck. All right, now let's talk about one other thing here. The radio. Never been my favorite radio, no matter what Traxxas it comes with. It is their top qualifier radio, and I just find the placement of the wheel to be kind of not my favorite, the way that it gets my hands together. It's very comfortable. It's larger than it needs to be for such a small truck. When you think about portability and all that too, the bigger the radio, the less portable it feels, because you've also got to find room for this now in with your truck. Not a deal breaker or anything. Very, very basic. You've got your little set button on top here, steering trim quickly, which I do like that they got rid of this other knob for one reason only. I'm going to be replacing this wheel with one from DSM Off-Road or Mark Santa Maria. Both of them have thumb wheels that you can buy for these that replace this plastic wheel here. So you take your foam off of this, replace that, and it gives you a thumb wheel to be able to reach it. Traxxas ones are not really very easily reachable one-handed for driving, even with a big hand like mine, which I wish it was. I feel like it's, in this day and age when so much of us are sharing our content and sharing the experience, our whole RC experience online, this kind of being an afterthought to them, the ability to do this is kind of a bummer. And I know it's because they've already got it molded, but they designed this whole new small truck. I would have loved for them to make a tighter package of all this and also make this easier for one-handed driving. I wish, but you know, I'll get the thumb wheel. The problem with the thumb wheel is the further out this comes, this amount of range here, if you're going in a straight line from here and it spins to there, look at how far your thumb has to push to get to that much, where it's really only a little bit. When you're up tight on it like this, it's only a little range of motion, but down here that motion is a much bigger sweep, and that makes it hard. You don't actually get your full range of motion with a long thumb grip on here. You can't really turn all the way. That's the one bummer. So anyway, that's my one little gripe, and I keep nagging on it, but I really do mean it, and it's really frustrating that these radios just keep showing up everywhere. I just don't like them. I still buy the Traxxas stuff, but I really don't like their radio and the design of it. But that said, let's make it rain. Here are my upgrades. Most of them fell in front of the truck. So we did get the trailer. Had to. 30 bucks, not a bad price. Looks cool. Got the bolt-on hitch here and hardware for it. So pretty cool. Rubber tires. We'll be looking at this later. We did get the light kit. So this is the Pro kit for the Defender. We'll be installing this. Some of these things I just bought because I thought that this time of year, going into Christmas, and everybody buying these, is going to be hard to find parts if anything breaks. So we're going to be making monster trucks with ours, and I thought I'd probably for sure break steering knuckles, and I could not find any of these like C-hubs and all that. So I just went ahead and bought another front axle complete, which also gives me other gears and, you know, the shafts and everything in there that I may or may not need, depending on how I break things. I got the speed gearing right here, motor, but I bought it with the transmission installed for a couple reasons. If I burn up a motor, I have a spare motor. And it's way easier to swap in and out with this because it's just really 4 screws and then the screws for your drive shafts. And you can drop this in, plug and play, and makes it very easy. Now I will say I did buy the speed gears too. So there's another option. You could just buy these gears and take apart your transmission, which, you know, pop this out and it's only 4 more screws to open the case up. Not a big deal. You can drop these in pretty easily. I bought these so that if I strip these, I have an extra set to drop in there. So $5 for them, not a bad price to do the gear changes. This is $40, a little bit more spendy, but the motor itself is about $18. So factor that in, it's about $20 for a whole transmission built. Not too bad. Because of the speed gearing, I also got a heatsink. And so these are blue metal, aluminum anodized. Nice, $10. Not a bad price. Not too bad. What else do we get? All kinds of springs. Let me see if I can find all of the different spring rates that they have here. Again, this, however, I did have to buy at multiple places because you only get them in a pair. And if I wanted to run the same shocks all the way around, the spring rates, I would need to have bought multiple. I'd have to buy 2 of each. So that's what I did for most of these. So there's a 0.072 rate here, 0.095, 0.123, these are thicker, and then you've got the 0.155, and these are the thickest. So I got single sets of each, $3 each, so $6 for shocks around your truck. Not, again, too bad. I should have, I thought I bought at a different shop more springs. So here's the 0.95. So these are now a set. So I did try to get some of the things in pairs. Maybe they're back here. Yeah, here's more stuff. All of it fell back and around. So I did get different. Here's the 1, 2, 3s. So I did get at least 2 pairs of some of them, if not all of them, and then 4. So I did get 8. So I have all of them in a pair, which is nice. I also picked up the transmission for the low range. So this was a spendy day, $40 for this as well. Another spare motor. I do have 2 trucks. If for whatever reason motors are burning up and we're having issues, you know, getting motors or replacements, I don't think it will be. I think the aftermarket is going to go nuts for these things, and we're going to have lots and lots and lots of options. But here's a 180 and, you know, another one in here, plus the transmission already built. So that's nice. I don't think I bought the gears for that. I did get some ring and pinion gears for the axles. They come in a set for $5. Also grabbed, these are the stub axles. They did have these in a heavier duty, but it only came with 1. And again, why would I just buy 1? They didn't have a pair to sell. So I'd have only been buying 1 of them, and that didn't make sense at this time. So I bought this one because you got a set of 2 of them for $12.50 if we ended up breaking one of those off monster trucking. The real thing is we're not sure what's going to happen when we turn them into monster trucks. So that's why that is available. Because of monster trucks, again, I did get axle cases in case for whatever reason we break one or strip out a screw, pull stuff out. I do have spare axle cases and tires. This was the most annoying part of purchasing, was trying to find matched sets of tires because they were only selling 2 at the shops. You could get these and that was it. If you were lucky and it wasn't these ones, I wanted these Mickey Thompson Baja Pros. I just like the tread on these. They just look more aggressive. And so this is what I wanted. And I bought one, and I also put another set on pre-order. You could, with some of the other tires, you could buy a set of 2 like this and buy the wheels, and they had 2 wheels, like I said, and you could build it. And then they had some that were complete sets where the wheels and tires were together. So if you bought a wheel and tire that had a tire you liked, you could match the 2 wheels and the tires and get a full set. But then, you know, you bought up a bunch of stuff. Like I left the shelves pretty empty when I went through the shop, and feel bad about it, but I wanted to make sure I had parts. Bearing sets, very pricey bearing set, $40 for a set of bearings. I'm hoping that they come out with a set for about $25 or something. Somebody I could see coming out with a set for $25. Looking at you, Fast Eddie Bearings, but it seems like it should be doable. This seems like highway robbery. But I wanted to get them and make sure we had them in, show it as an option part. But $40 for the bearings seems a little pricey, a little spendy, but I don't what maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't know. Wheel hubs, hexes, again, monster trucks, gonna put monster truck tires on. These are $8, and again, I feel all right with these in the pricing. The cat's getting into the bag if you hear the crumpling back there, crinkle, crinkle. So I was able to find these 2 at one place actually. So that was crazy. They got 2 sets of these in. I can tell by the tags, the ones that say riders and not. So I also got the high range trail. Why did I get these? These are the wrong ones. These are supposed to be the low range. These are just replacements of what's in it right now currently. Oops. All right. Well, I actually wanted to convert the trail ones that come in these stock over to a low range, and I bought the wrong one. Whoops. A lot of stuff was going on. It was pretty busy, and yeah, I messed up. So I have a spare set of these, which I don't need because I'm going to be taking them out of them, and I'll have a spare set. Oh well. All right, so TRX-4m, these are the light kits for the Bronco. Look at how cool they look, the daytime lights there. Oh my goodness, this is going to look so good. So, reverse lights, hazard lights, tail lights, daytime lights, headlights. These for $25 seem like a good deal. Like this, the fact that this is $25 in the super cool and the bearings, which I don't even think I'm going to need, or more, is crazy. But in the monster truck version, I do plan to go ahead and put some bearings in there and maybe hope get a little bit of extra speed out of it. We'll see. But the speed one I thought should maybe get bearings where the bushings should be fine for my other crawler versions. This is a metal servo mount. I don't know that it's necessary. We will be trying to put a Mighty Chihuahua into here, so I thought I'd just get a nice servo mount to help hold the power of that baby. So there's that. But I'm curious now, having said that, how the Mighty Chihuahua or any other servo will work. I wonder what the tooth count is on this Traxxas one with that little mount that they've got there. That could make it problematic for switching out the servo easily. It may require a little finagling, a little longer screw or something to get up in there because of this mount piece, the way that they tied it all together. As your servo horn, you've got a single rail here. So it's doable, but you might have a long screw up to the, anyway, I don't know. Here comes the cat. He's gonna try and get up in the window. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I did get a screw kit because screw kits, I think, are one of the best things to have in any RC, because you lose screws, you strip screws, you just want to have options for screws around. And $24, not a bad deal to get a full set of screws, but they also had the stainless steel ones for $29. I did not opt for those, even though I plan to go in water, because they're silver and I didn't really want to have silver in my axles and all over the place showing. I like it being kind of blacked out. So yeah, for most of the screw stuff I want, this seemed to work. But I think this is the last thing that I got. I was hoping to get spare batteries. They did not have any spare batteries. This is just a stand, and I thought it was cool. Just a little piece of foam that it sits in. Very simple. Keeps the tires off the ground. Nice. I like it. So very, very cool little stand. Doesn't get in the way. Doesn't really stand out. Put it on your shelf. They get their branding from it. Pretty cool option. The cat's coming to say hello. Hi, Gandalf. And I think that's it. I think that's it. Now that you're getting the video over sign from the cat, we'll say goodbye. All right, guys. So that's a quick look here at mine. This is the rough unboxing. We will do a kind of a cleaner one with some, you know, closer looks in at the parts in the truck. But overall, Traxxas nailed it with this release. You can tell that they put time and effort into the design, and I think it paid off for them. So it's very, very clean, and it looks like it's going to be very easy for us to upgrade and do a whole lot of stuff with. This is definitely a curious thing with the servo hitting here. I wonder, again, if you have a different servo in there, what problems that might create with it side to side hitting there. But not too bad of an issue with everything stock like it is. So there you go, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, have fun RCing. Catch you next time.